Alright, so this is just kind of a little quick sneak peek on motor that I'm putting together. Probably going to go in my blue car. I think that's what the plan is. So basically what this is I got this with a car. So parted everything else out, and this is what I have left, and this was basically what the profit was off the car, because there wasn't much left. Now supposedly this was a built motor. It has West Coast 20 over pistons. I think it has Eagle rods. That has the DCR strap kit, the windage tray. This motor has somewhere around 8 to 10,000 miles on it. So the only problem with this when I had gotten it was the reason why the car sat for a year and a half. I don't know if something was not assembled correctly, but something with the timing belt came off. You can actually see. I'll bring you in for a close-up. This something with the timing belt. I guess he had the bottom end done and he had the cylinder head done, and he's the one that assembled it. I mean, there's none of the factory bolts are in this engine anywhere, almost nowhere. Like 90% of the bolts that were in this, including ones holding the transmission to it, were not factory bolts. So someone had assembled this. The timing belt had come apart. It had stage 3 cams in it. They actually interfered with the pistons. So pulled the head off. It had one bad valve. I ended up not using that. So long story short, since it was sitting a year and a half, nothing was covered. There was no oil in these cylinders. This is how it was. It had these 2 cylinders up. 1 and 4 were up. 2 and 3 were down the whole way. Okay. So what happened was, sitting all that time and moisture in the air, it caused the cylinder walls to rust. So I just figured, what the heck? And I ended up trying some of the rust remover stuff. I got some of this rust dissolver from Rust-Oleum. I mean, I've seen some, I guess WD-40 put some. It says to let it soak. You can use it for a couple other different things, I'm sure. But this is what happened when I used this. So I should have actually, I probably should have made a video of this. Hopefully there's enough light here. You can see down in these cylinders. All I did was basically I let this stuff soak. I mean, it cleaned the cylinders up fine. I did both of them. I actually, you know, kind of brushed off the top of these pistons a little bit. They've had oil sitting on them, so it's kind of cleaning the carbon off. You can actually see a couple, just like where the valves had touched this in a couple spots on these pistons. But it's no damage that is going to make this unrunnable. Now that is taken care of, see, we're going to be getting this onto the engine stand today. And the reason why that is happening is because about a year ago, I ended up getting another motor with this cylinder head on it. So a couple people were here, you guys seen it. I don't know if you caught it. It was actually on the engine stand sitting back here in the corner by the door. All right, well, this cylinder head here has port work. It has BC springs and retainers. I'm not sure about the valves yet. I didn't actually look at it. I just pulled this cylinder head off yesterday because somebody needed a lower end, and the lower end that this head was on was all stock. So I kind of got lucky there, I guess. ARP studs we got here. So I did pull this off. I'm not sure. I'll have to pull this off and double check. But I do know that they are BC cams. I can't remember if it was 161 or 162, which is stage 2 or stage 3. So this is where we are. We're going to get everything cleaned up. We're going to actually assemble this head with this stuff just cleaned up, put on here. There is no reason why anything should not work the way it is. Nothing needs sent to a machine shop. This is all just basically clean up, go over everything, make sure it's assembled correctly, torque everything down. I did get a nice top end kit, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're putting together a motor for that car. Up onto the engine stand, all right? So, like I said, I'm going to get you in here for a close-up. I do have it. Okay, so let's get this chain off here, so we don't need this anymore. Just check this thing out. Alrighty here. Now, where did we set that? Pick the ratchet up. Okay. Alright, so you're on the tripod. I'm not going to take the camera off because I'm going to need it on there more. But this is what we got. Hopefully you can see down in there. Don't get me wrong. There is some dirt and stuff on top here that I will have to clean off. Looks like a little bit of ammo hair from the dogs running through here. But, I mean, this is what we got. You know? Everything spins over great. Let's bring this up. Okay, there's that. I'm going to grab a paper towel, that way you can actually look down in here and check this out. Okay. Hopefully the light doesn't make it too rough to see. But you can see down in there, nothing's too bad on that cylinder at all. Alright. Now, let's check out one of the ones that wasn't rusted. Okay. Making sure it's good and clean down in here. Alright. Grab the light. Take a look. You can see we have brush strokes in here. It's set a little bit different. I'm hoping that when the time comes, when this thing fires up, that it actually, you know, those rings should actually reseat. I mean, it's just going to be one of those things where it's a chance. I could actually pull the pistons out and re-brush hone the entire block, inspect the rings, which is probably going to be the smarter choice in all reality. That way you know for sure that you're going to have good seal on those two center cylinders right there. But let's check out the cylinder head. Okay. All right, so here's the cylinder head we had pulled yesterday. Like I said, ARP studs were holding it down. Actually, it looked like it had a 5-layer VCR gasket, if that's anything special, on it also. So there's our studs. They all just need cleaned up, ready to be reused. All right, I just kind of set them there yesterday in a hurry. So here's where the magic is. I'm gonna pull the valve cover off. All right, let's turn this light on. Hopefully this helps a little bit. Okay, so now everything came off, everything went back on. Amazingly, this cylinder head has all of the cam caps are labeled. We can pull this off here. It's actually not BC retainers. It actually has Crowler ones. You can see down in here, you can see Crowler on that one. All right. I'm sure that these right here are just stock. Not going to be anything special. I mean, I don't know what different numbers are. I haven't seen enough of these or been around enough of these. So we have that. Okay. All this stuff looks pretty decent down in here. What I'll end up doing is I'm just going to put this in my parts washer and go over it like that. The nuts, and we'll see if we can get the washer. The nuts and washers are still down in here. They popped off, and it was just easier for me to let them lay loose in there and get them out later. So we have our washers and our nuts that we need to get out of here for our ARP studs. All right. Now, we'll get down here and we'll try shining the flashlight in here maybe a little bit into the intake here. What I think I'm going to do is I'll lay a rag out and then I'll pull all these rockers, and that way I can set them all in order and know that which way they go back in, along with getting all of the nuts out. So I'm going to take care of that stuff, and then we'll flip this thing over. I'll show you what the intake ports look like and what the exhaust ports, and basically we're just going to check this thing out before I actually take it in and clean this thing up. Alright, so here's another thing. We got a nice set of MPX cam gears to actually put on this. I thought about getting some of the Fidanza ones because they're blue and they'd match the car, but I'm going to be running the cover. You know, this is going to be a car that can be driven, not one that's, you know, hey, we got to watch out if we got rain, we got to watch out if anything's going to fall inside of our timing cover. That's not what kind of an engine this is going to be. So we have everything there to go. So right now I'm going to work on getting all of the nuts and washers and rockers off of this. We have all the ARP studs off. We got everything here in order. I just used a magnet and was able to get the nuts and the washers out. So here we go. I just pulled this off the motor yesterday like I had stated, and put all the caps right back in where they're supposed to be, the correct direction, order, everything, so that it could be reassembled. And I didn't even look at the bottom of this cylinder head. So here we go. Let's flip this thing up and see what's on the bottom. Alright, now I have to drop this down a little bit. Kind of sucks trying to keep the oil off of my hands. Okay, so there we go. I mean, there is some carbon on here. The bottom of the head actually looks very nice. I mean, the gasket was nice. It did have some of the that like spray on gasket adhesive stuff. There's minimal carbon in here, so I mean, I'm just kind of guessing that not sure what's going on there. Have to get that cleaned off. It's got some deposits on these exhausts on some of these cylinders. So we'll have to see how it cleans up. Just double check everything. Like I said, this is we're going over everything, we're checking everything, and we are putting this together. There's no reason. Like this motor was running that this was on. So there you go. We can hopefully see down inside these cylinders here. Here we go. It has some port work at the start of the port. You can see some minimal port work. It actually, I don't know, it kind of looks like there might be some down there by the valve, but it's kind of hard to tell. Like I said, I don't know where this came from. Look, we got a little set screw sitting in here for some reason. Let's get that out of there. Sorry for the tripod noise. Alright, let's flip this thing over and see what the exhaust side looks like. A little bit of ugly-ass oil dripped out. So this one's going to be a little bit harder to tell. Kind of try to I sprayed some brake clean here on the edge, cleaned this up. It actually looked like the head was cleaned good at one time. If you look down in, I can't really tell if there was any port work. Maybe over here toward the side you can see there might have been some there. Looks like somebody, the keepers, where the keeper comes down through from the valve, might have a little bit of a hit to it. So I mean, it's difficult to say whether this was a good port job or just something somebody played with a little bit just because of age and not knowing where it came from. So that's looking at that head. Now if you see here, I have another cylinder head. Okay, this one over here has let's see here, let's move this out of the way. This one here has BC springs and keepers in it. Okay, it has no port work. Okay, I'm just going to try to spin this a little bit, get the light without going too crazy. All right, if we look, you can see inside of the ports here, you can tell everything's pretty much smooth. Nothing was done to this. This is 100% stock cylinder head. I'm gonna flip it around, show you guys the intake side. All right, for some strange reason the camera acted a little goofy, but what I have here is cylinder head with no grinding on the intake side. I don't know, hopefully you can see down in here. Alright, so I got a light now. You can see into here. Down in these valves. Well, this is the intake side on a head that is 100% stock. Now, just a quick little side-by-side comparison. Man, that makes a very disgusting black line there. You can see down inside here the difference in any of the porting that is there. So, nothing major, minor port work, but you know, it's better than stock, so we're just gonna go with it. You can actually tell the inside of the head looked like it was cooked out pretty good at one time. Clean inside the water jacket right there, really nice. So we just got to get this thing cleaned up and it'll be more than adequate to install. All right, so when you take this off, it shows you, I don't know, you can't see it, the light's not bad. It's like a JLN1 and this says JLN2. I guess it's just intake and exhaust. But if you come over here onto this side, it shows Crowler right over here on this side of the cam. And when I run the numbers, I guess it has an E here for exhaust and an I for intake. So I kind of Googled it out just to see. It tells you what it is. I can actually print this, so I'll probably print this card also now. It tells you what the camshaft is, clearances, the stuff that's listed above, how many pounds spring pressure, intake and exhaust, the lobe separation, shows you everything there. It says there's 4 degrees of advance that have been ground into the camshaft using lobe center. Cams damaged by excessive spring pressure. Okay, yeah, so you know, that's just all of what it shows. I'm not sure what this shows in difference as far as intake, lift, and duration and everything as far as the BC cams are concerned. you know, that's something I could print this out and actually do a side-by-side show. But I mean, this is what's in here, so this is probably what I'm going to go with, just because it's already there. So all right, this is where I'm going to end this one. Stay tuned, man. We're going to get some stuff cleaned up. We're going to bolt the cylinder head down. When we get everything cleaned up, we're going to double check our cylinder walls inside of this motor here. We're going to clean everything down, clean the pan, clean inside. I'll show you guys what it looks like inside the bottom. We're going to get rid of these tensioners, this water pump. You know, this thing here is pretty ugly. Make sure that we have all of the stock factory bolts back into this thing so that we can actually fire it up, accomplish something, and make some power. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll get it.